Today, we're exploring the fascinating story of the SS Roma, an Italian ocean liner built for the shipping company Navigazione Generale Italiana. Later, she was transferred to the newly formed Italian line after a major merger. However, when the Second World War broke out, everything changed. The elegant ocean liner was completely transformed into an aircraft carrier named Aquila, a far cry from her original glory. Hello everyone, it's Jamie from Old Shipping Lines, and welcome back to a new video. Join me as we uncover the full story of the SS Roma from her days as a beautiful ocean liner to her dramatic wartime conversion and eventual scrapping. If you're excited for this video, leave a like, as it helps bring the story of this incredible ship to as many people as possible. The vessel was to be owned by the Italian shipping company Navigazione Generale Italiana and constructed by the Ansaldo shipyard in Sestri Ponente. Now, let's briefly cover the ship's specifications. The vessel had a gross registered tonnage of 32,583 tons. She measured 706.2 feet in length with a beam of 82.7 feet. The Roma was powered by 8 turbines arranged in pairs and driving 4 shafts. Steam was supplied by 9 double-ended and 4 single-ended boilers, enabling the ship to reach a maximum speed of 22 knots. She could accommodate approximately 1,675 passengers across 4 classes, 375 in first class, 300 in second class, 300 in intermediate class, and 700 in third class. Following the merger of her company with Lloyd Sabaudo and Kosulich Line to form the Italian line, her 2 funnels were repainted in the new company's colors. In 1933, the intermediate class was replaced by a tourist class. The main deck was finished with teak. However, the Roma would not sail the seas alone. She would have had a sister ship, the MS Augustus. The launching ceremony took place on February 25th, 1926, in the presence of the Minister for Communications, Costanzo Ciano, and his wife Carolina, who served as the ship's godmother. However, the event turned into an embarrassing ordeal for both the owners and builders. Due to the freezing temperatures, the slipway had completely iced over, preventing the massive hull from moving. Despite numerous attempts, the ship refused to budge. It wasn't until the following day, after prolonged efforts using stuffing boxes with boiling water, steam, and hydraulic rams, that the vessel was finally coaxed down the slipway. Contemporary accounts attempted, with elaborate reasoning and a convoluted style, to convince readers that it was perfectly normal to gather scores of dignitaries and tens of thousands of spectators at 2 p.m., bless the ship at 3 p.m., smash a bottle of spumante against her hull at 5 p.m., and then return early the next morning, waiting until mid-afternoon to finally witness the vessel enter the water. In fascist Italy, even the most understandable mistakes and delays were not tolerated, sometimes to almost comical extremes. However, Minister Costanzo Ciano took the situation in stride, showing a sense of humor. He was photographed laughing on the dais, pretending to push the ship's bow with one hand, while playfully beckoning other guests to join in. After completing her fitting out in record time, on 21st September 1926, the largest and fastest Italian liner ever built at that point, embarked on her maiden voyage from Genoa to New York. The event was celebrated with great enthusiasm by the owners of the ship, who marked the occasion with several publications promoting the ship. Among these, the most striking and unique was likely the one produced by Stamperia d'Arte Richter of Naples, featuring a pewter depiction of the head of the goddess Roma on its cover. This particular publication was exclusively distributed to first-class passengers. The debut of the new Italian flagship, during a time of intense competition, was marked by an elaborate advertising campaign that praised the ship in grandiose terms, calling her a monument of the sea. Longer than St. Peter's, wider than the Rialto Bridge, taller than the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the ship's name, inspired by the Eternal City, along with the Roman spirit championed by the fascist government, were reflected in the central hall of the vessel. This ceremonial room, however, was cold, austere, and formal, embodying the serious grandeur of its design. Dominating the room was a large marble statue of the goddess Roma by Angelo Zanelli, an exact replica of the one at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Rome. The ship owners of the Roma deserve significant praise for the exceptional third-class facilities they provided. Dormitories for emigrants were replaced with comfortable cabins, most of which had 2 or 4 berths, each equipped with a wash basin and running water at a time when even first-class passengers rarely had private bathrooms. The ship also offered numerous public lounges, furnished with plush-covered sofas and armchairs, modern entertainment options, and high-quality food, with a variety of dishes available on the a la carte menu. This marked a dramatic improvement in accommodation for those who, forced to leave their homeland in search of survival, were far from wealthy, who, after all, were the primary source of income for ship owners around the world. On 30 January 1932, the Roma collided with the American ocean liner President Roosevelt in New York, causing severe damage to the President Roosevelt, which was later repaired and returned to service. In March 1936, the ship's hull was repainted white to better align with her new purpose as a cruise ship, a role she would mainly serve for the majority of the year. The Roma remained in passenger service until Italy declared war in 1940, after which the ship was laid up until 1941. When World War II erupted, the Roma was laid up and eventually seized by the Royal Italian Navy. She was then converted into an aircraft carrier, renamed Aquila. After her refit, her speed was boosted to 30 knots. However, the ship was only 90% complete when the Kingdom of Italy signed the 1943 armistice. In 1943, the Aquila was seized by the National Republican Navy and the German occupation forces, who placed her under guard. By 1944, the German forces began looting and partially demolishing the ship. Eventually, she was sabotaged and partially sunk by the royalist Italian co-belligerent navy, fearing that the Germans might seize the ship and use her as a block ship at the entrance of Genoa's harbor, just as they had done with her sister ship, which had already been converted into the aircraft carrier Sparviero. The Mariasalto Commando unit, made up of former members of the Decima Flottiglia, launched a manned torpedo attack on the night of April 18th to 19th, 1945, partially sinking the Aquila. After the conflict ended, There was some discussion about completing and commissioning the ship, but it was ultimately considered both economically unfeasible and politically problematic. Her wreckage was salvaged and, in 1949, towed to La Spezia, where she was renamed Pontone P 227. There, she was dismantled and fully scrapped by 1952. And so, the Roma story, once filled with promise and prestige, ended in an unexpected and tragic transformation. From her elegant beginnings as a symbol of Italian craftsmanship to her conversion into the Aquila, an aircraft carrier caught in the midst of World War II's chaos, she experienced a fate few could have predicted. Despite attempts to salvage her, the ship was ultimately doomed to the scrapyard. The story of the Roma and later the Aquila serves as a reminder of how war can reshape even the grandest of ships, leaving behind only memories of their former glory. The wreckage of what was once one of Italy's finest liners is now gone, but her legacy lives on through the stories and histories that continue to fascinate and inspire.
And that marks the end of a video, my friends. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, if you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing to the channel, as that would help out the channel a lot. Now, if you have any thoughts, comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section down below, as I absolutely love reading your comments. And please let me know in the comment section down below as well what ships you would like me to cover in the future. Now be as well sure to check out our social media pages. We are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, and we also recently have a website, oldshippinglines.com, where we have articles of the ships we cover and we have book reviews as well. I think you will enjoy the website very much. Now, with that out of the way, guys, I wish you all a good night or day, wherever you are. Stay safe, stay happy, and we will see each other on the next video. Goodbye, my friends.